What if I told you these Dollar Tree items could make your home look professionally decorated? From wallpaper to frames to lanterns, I'll be showing you how to mix simple budget finds into stunning home decor. Let's decorate like a pro. I'm sure you've seen these beautiful lanterns at Dollar Tree, but today I'm taking this $3 lantern and elevating it by turning it into a stunning wall lantern decor piece. Let's get started. From Dollar Tree, I'll be using a wall shelf, just like this one, and a heavy-duty hook. For the wall shelf, I'm only going to use the wood piece. As you can see, the wood has some holes, so I'm going to cover them with spackling. I'm going to give the spackling a few minutes to harden. Once the spackling hardened, I use some sandpaper to smooth out the surface. I'm removing the glass from the lantern because I'm going to spray paint it. Along with the hook, I'm using gold spray paint to give all the pieces one color. The hook came with some hardware, some screws, and plastic caps. I'm going to spray paint those as well so everything matches and has a cohesive gold finish. The paint is now dry, but I didn't realize the patch holes would still be visible. My solution was to cover them with green velvet ribbon to give it a more elevated look. I'm not stressing over this. I just cut a piece long enough to cover both the top and bottom sections of the wood, then used some hot glue to secure the ribbon in place. This is how it turned out, and now it's time to attach the hook so I can hang the lantern. I'm going to mark where the screw openings need to go, then drill some small pilot holes to make installation easier. Since the wood is pretty thin, I'm adding a few small wood blocks for extra support. I'll place 2 blocks where the holes line up, and 1 more for the hanging support piece. I'll secure everything in place first with some hot glue. Then use screws for the hook and small nails for the metal hanger to make sure it's strong and stable. Now I'm going to place a battery-operated candle inside the lantern and carefully put the glass back in place. And now I'm ready to hang my lantern. I love how this turned out. Let me know if this is a yes or a no for you. For a simple hack for your lantern, grab a bag of potpourri and fill the glass with it. Not only will you have your space smelling amazing, but also creates a unique and beautiful decorative piece for your home. Is this a yes or a no for you? Let me know down below. I have this area in my studio that I wanted to do something special with, and I was inspired by this vintage style picture collage. So I set out to create my own version, but I didn't want to spend a ton of money. I headed to Dollar Tree to pick up some picture frames, wallpaper, and a few canvases prints that matched the style I was going for. I came back with all different sizes of frames. I tried to find round ones, but I couldn't find any in the $1.50 section. The first thing I did was remove everything from the frames, leaving just the bare frames, because the next step was to spray each one with a gold metallic finish. The paint has dried, and now I want to bring out some of the detail in the frames while also giving them a vintage look. To achieve that, I'm going to apply Waverly Antique Wax to add depth and an aged finish. I started by brushing the wax onto the areas I wanted to define, beginning with light strokes and gradually building it up for more depth. If I felt I applied too much, I used a sponge to gently remove the excess. Once I was happy with the look, I moved on to the next frame and repeated the process until all of them were finished. I'm going to let the wax dry overnight and then come back to work on them the next day. My faux vintage frames are ready, and now it's time to add some art to them. Well, make-believe art, that is. I'm going to use these small canvas prints I picked up from Dollar Tree. The images are really beautiful. I'll also be using some scrapbook paper I found on Amazon. I'll link it in my bio in my Amazon store if you're interested. I love the vintage prints on them. And the only wallpaper I found at Dollar Tree that fit my vision was this one, which ties perfectly into my green vintage theme. Starting with the canvas, I'm going to remove it from its original frame since I've already taken out the staples. I'll be framing it inside this 5x7 frame. First, I'm removing the stand and then using the backing board as a template to mark the area I need to cut from the canvas. I'll trace around it with a pen, then cut it out with scissors. After that, I'll place the canvas into the frame along with a glass insert and secure it with the metal brackets. And there you go, my first vintage wall art is complete. Now I'll move on to the next one. And this is how the canvas prints turned out, and now I'm going to move on to the scrap paper. For these 8x10 frames, I'll be using these scrapbook papers. I'll follow the same steps using the backboard as a template, tracing around it and cutting out the piece I need for the frame. The scrapbook paper has prints on both sides and they're different prints. For these longer frames, I'll be using the wallpaper from Dollar Tree. Now that I'm done with all my frames, I've measured the wall space and created a layout on the floor using painter's tape. This lets me arrange all the frames first so that I can see how everything will look before hanging them on the wall. Once I did put them on the wall, I did make a few changes. Well, is this a yes or a no for you? Thanks so much for stopping by. I'll see you on the next one. Have a blessed day. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much.